Hi, fellow people of YouTube. My name's Vile, and I wanted to make a video on the spirit of the crow as a spirit guide or as a familiar spirit to keep around, and sort of the energies and experiences that I've had with this spirit guide and spirit animal, and really my interpretation on what this bird has brought into my life and my experiences with this bird as well. I have some notes in front of me, just getting my thoughts out on the spirit of the crow and just some certain points that I wanted to touch on. So I'm going to have that in front of me so I don't forget. But firstly, I want to start off with the superficial, surface level reactions that most people have to crows as a result of the media or movies. And it's not to say that those are entirely wrong, because they're not at all. It's just the responses and the reactions that people have to these very mysterious creatures that in itself, like the way people react to them in itself shows what they're all about, which they can, they're not harmless. They're birds and they're a lot smaller than we are. Yet a lot of people are fearful of them because of some sort of misunderstanding or a lack of peace with the unsettling feeling and the otherworldly essence that they carry, because they are very unique birds, in my opinion, and they do look a little bit scary naturally. So the thing about crows is that there's a certain type of freedom that they carry. Freedom in things that are rather dark to be free within, because they're birds, and this is all my interpretation and my experience based off my connection with this, so take it as you will. But because they're birds and they have wings and they could fly, to me, I interpret that as not being grounded in the earth's structure. They fly and see beyond that, and I know that they have very good observance skills, but from a heightened awareness as well, because they're so high up in the air. And there's a freedom that they have within their occultism, within their darkness, I suppose. And they're free within a lot of things that humans right now especially are very much indoctrinated by and tied down to the earth's very impure structure in this moment in time. So they could be very, very confronting just by their presence, and provoking as well, and through their energy and even the way that they sound when they're calling out to other crows to give them warnings and such like that. Uh, just their energy field, I'm sure a lot of people can agree that they are rather striking and unsettling, but at the same time they're enticing, and they pull you in because they embody that occult mystery. They embody the unknown and the mystery, but they have a skilled energy and a skilled way of being within that. So they're unfuckable with. You can't fuck with crows. They remember you. They remember how you look like. And all of those things really hold you accountable. They hold you accountable to things that you may do that really shows that you lack a certain amount of sovereignty or accountability or self-respect or respect for others. They're really confronting in that way, and they could show you, or they could warn you of others that have a impurity within the darkness. They really promote watchfulness and observance. So if you're seeing the crow often, it can mean so many different things, but the main point and the main idea that I'm trying to convey is that they have a freedom, a wisdom, and a skilled way of being within the mysteries and all things unknown to us. In many traditions, they have said that the crow spirit is above our constructs in terms of the past, present, and future. So people think that they could, when they show up in our lives, that can be pointing to them warning us of something, or they could bring about, through the crow, they can bring about an energy of doom, or sort of promote, like I said, watchfulness or observance, but it really makes you feel as though you need to watch your back. But what was I getting at? Wow, I completely forgot. Hopefully I made that clear though. But yeah, hopefully that comes back around, because I totally blanked right now on the point that I was making. But they really, in my experience, promote sovereignty from the external structures, and really not being bound and tied down to the heaviness of the chains that indoctrinate you and stray you away from your own spiritual freedom, your own darkness, and the freedom and the gems that you could find within that, and sharpening up those skills of your own dark experiences, your own deaths and resurrections of the soul, and a lot of things that happen beyond the physical, a lot of things that we go through emotionally or mentally or spiritually, in all ways that aren't physical. The crow can 100% assist, and because they're very good at it, that's the world that they live in. They're very good at assisting us and helping us maneuver within those realms in a way where we come out with more freedom and a more sharpness and attentiveness to what we are doing or what we have going on. They are very, very intelligent. So, in general, you could work with the spirit guide of the crow by making sigils or calling upon them or listening to certain frequencies of the crow. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do have that on YouTube. They have a lot of different, very specific things on YouTube in terms of binaural beats. But you can really immerse yourself in their essence in order to sharpen up certain mental capabilities, especially psychic gifts. I don't really think people point that out a lot about the crow spirit. If you see them, the first thing they strike in you is curiosity and a want to know the meaning or the message that they are trying to convey to you, which could have to do with a lot of things, like I said before. But from my experience, they are very encouraging when you're on a rather dark path, or a path in which you're not sure where it's going to lead you, but you know that it's the right way, because deep within it's sort of making you feel as though it is the right way, like you're very much in touch with your inner voice and your inner soul, and not the external. So when you see a crow and stuff, from my experience, they have been extremely supportive to me in letting me know that the path that I'm going, even though it seems rather not necessarily dangerous, but it's a mystery to me. But at the same time, I know that I could learn a lot through going through that mystery and through that dark tunnel. They show up in those times of needing clarity within the darker realms and beyond the veil of physical reality. They could really assist you in all kinds of endeavors that you're trying to sharpen up your skills or be very protected within as well. Um, they could bring certain things that you would highly benefit from being aware of, especially if danger is involved, or they could be very encouraging of certain transformations that you are going through, especially if, well, most of the time with transformations, there's always a very great and valuable lesson. But transformations, particularly that will leave you more of a dark night of the soul sort of energy, that will leave you with immense amount of insight and a connection to the darker aspects of life and the gems within that you could extract and that you're aware of in all areas of life as well. They promote freedom within that which is very hard to be free within as a human being in this day and age, because in one way and another, like we have all been programmed in one way or another. And to me, the crow spirit in general really stands by sovereignty and being self-governed and protecting yourself, and also expanding upon the mysteries and the occult and really pushing your limits and being protected at the same time. So those are some really prominent things that I have observed and have learned through the crow spirit. They really promote and want you to be mentally and intellectually sharp and refined in a way that you are you have vision in the dark, sort of, for lack of better words and a way to explain it. But they are, because they have such great observance skills and such a great memory and all these things that have to do with the mental aspects of life and the mental energy within that, they highly promote um, the sharpening of that, like I keep saying, and as well as psychic abilities and protection in the psychological and the psyche in general.